Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to go over the choose function in Excel. And it's got multiple variations. It's a relatively new function. And if I type in choose, you'll see this choose columns, and choose rows. And what it allows you to do is, extract an entire row, extract an entire column, or a specific cell. So for example, if I use the choose function, I can select the index number. So let's say I want the second value in a list of values. So I select one value, 2, 3, 4, 5. So obviously you can go on and on here, however many values you want to enter. I selected the second one, so I should get this order number 10121 as my result, which is what I get. So not a whole lot of reason to do it this way, because you're going to have to key in these values if you're doing it this way. But what is a bit more useful is if you use the choose row or choose column function. So if I use choose rows, I can select my entire table here, which I've called table data. So I've selected my entire table. And in this case, let's say I want, the second row. Again, I'll key in value 2, and it'll give me that entire row number. So all those values there from all those different fields. And I can also say I want, the second row and the third one as well. And so extract it that way, the entirety of it. The one thing you could also do is you could use the match function. For example, if let's say we wanted to find a certain row number. So we could use the match function to say, match value 10121 within this range, look for an exact match, and it's going to work the same way. So you can use the match function to look up, to find what position it is in that table and get that value from there. Now, one thing to be cognizant of if you're using the choose rows or the choose column function is, in this example, I've selected a table. So I didn't select the entire row. And this is important because let's say I did it a different way. I did choose rows, and let's say for my array, I'm going to select the entire row. So I don't have this as a table. So I've got the entire row numbers 6 through 32, and I still want this second row within that range that I've selected. So the process is still the same, technically. Now the problem is, let's say I don't have this formula in column A. So let's say I do Control C and paste it into here. Now I have a spill error, because the problem is, even if I change this range, I'm still going to get an error. And the spill function is because, I'm going all the way to the end. And since I'm in column B, I can't go all the way to the end. I have to be in the first column for this formula to work now. So see, now it's okay, because now I have all the available columns, whereas if I do Control X and paste here, if I'm starting from column B, I'm missing that one column, so I'm not starting from the beginning. So it's an important thing to note, is that when you're setting your range, your initial array, if you set it for the entire row, like I've done here, 6 through 32, then you also have to start in column A. But if you've selected a table, as I did initially, so if I change this to, again, table data, it doesn't matter. I can even do Control X and let's say paste it over here. It'll be fine, because I'm only using so many columns here. I'm not going all the way to the end of the spreadsheet. So it's just an important thing to remember, whether you're using choose rows or choose columns, because it's going to work the same way. So, which brings me to the next one, choose columns. So in this case, again, I can use my table data, and again, column number, same sort of thing. Let's say I want the first 3 columns. So 1, 2, and 3. It's going to return 3 columns, right? So a pretty straightforward process. And again, you can use the match function as well if you want to do a search. So for the first one, let's say I want to find the city, right? So I'll look for city within this range. and do a match type of 0, so an exact match. And now I've got the city. So we've got these values here. So it works the same way. You can use it with a match, or you can just key these values in. However it is, these just need to be numerical values. And again, in this example, I'm using my table. But again, if I swap this out to say, okay, I want these entire columns, you know, again, I'm going to run into that spill function just because, again, my value isn't starting from the first row. So I would need to adjust it so that, you know, I'm starting from that first row position. Because if I'm not starting from that first row position, it's important to either use a table or set your range so you're not selecting absolutely everything. But other than that, it's a quick overview of how the choose column, and choose rows functions work. Hope you found this video useful, and thank you for watching.